Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before anything else, I wanted to set it up for the whole journaling vibe. I do hope you join me for a quick journaling catch up. I wanted to share with you the process of filling up my autumn journal, fall journal. I would like to say it's a fall journal. So over the course of autumn, actually mostly in October, I decided to have an insert dedicated to fall season. So that's what you're going to be seeing today in this video. I do hope you enjoy it. I know it's not fall anymore, but I wanted to share this with you in the hopes that maybe in the coming fall seasons in the next few years, you can look back on this and maybe have some ideas on how you can document your particular season, especially the fall. I do know a lot of people love the fall. I love fall. That's why I have a dedicated journal insert for it. So let's get started with that. The cover you're seeing here is a traveler's notebook regular with two inserts. So I have the MD Paper Cream half trip refill right here. So it's not very hefty. It has a few pages. It's half the pages of the usual one. And on the right hand side, I do have my traveler's notebook weekly vertical insert. I'll show you a setup video of that in a journal with me in the link below so you can see that. So this is the one that I carry mostly because it's a mix of my memory keeping and whatever insert I'm using at the moment. So let's get started. I want to tell you all about some of the pages that you see here. So on the end of September, I went home to Manila and I did a lot of work. So that's why you see a lot of a boarding pass there. I also had to sort through a couple of things because I just feel like I left abruptly in the start of February earlier this year in 2022. So it hasn't been easy. So I feel like fall was a really important moment, or like at least a really important time for me to really slow down and ultimately like sort of replenish my energy after being super all over the place and like super stimulated and super busy from spring to summer. So with that, I also wanted to share that it's like my first time experiencing this transition of seasons, particularly in Berlin, where you really see it with like the leaves changing, the oranges and all that jazz. So it was very important to me to create a space that was very cozy. So I bought a couple of things definitely to update my room. Like I got some storage. I also got a few things like a new scarf and all that. Also, I got some tea, obviously. So with that also, when I got back, I got a lot of mail from friends. I super love it when people send me mail because it's such a personal thing to do. And I feel like having someone do that effort of sending you mail is such a love language in itself. So on the left-hand side, there is a note from Jane of Jane the Crazy. And she sent me a bunch of stuff. It was really great. Thanks so much, Jane. And also, Job sent me a couple of things as well as his PET tape design. So that's why I stuck in all the happy mail over here. Apart from that, in October, I did have a couple of friends who came to visit Berlin, which was great. I always like taking people around. And one of them is Ellen. So if you've seen the Travel and Journal with Me first episode where I had a cozy time in the German countryside, that was actually Ellen's place. And Ellen has been really supportive of my career. And also like we've been friends for like, I would say like 3 years now. And I really love that we get along so much and we talk about journaling, we talk about life. So she came to visit for a work trip and also I decided to take her around for a weekend. It was really great. We went to the coffee shops, the stationery shops, and I really had a lovely time. I think that was my first weekend also that I was able to explore Berlin like in the fall. I also want to share that I'm using this Micron PN pen for writing over this particular paper because I'm not sure if this paper holds fountain pen ink well. So that's something you maybe have to consider if you're going to write a lot in your journals. And a quick disclaimer that I haven't mentioned, or like I don't mention a lot, is like you see that all of my journal pages are already filled up. So that's something that I don't film as much because I am very random. Like I will just have something and stick it in, and I don't sit down and do a whole day of deco. Does that make sense? Like, decorating for me is a very big aspect that I have to get out of the way before I start writing, because I know some people just do deco or some people write more. I like to do a mix of both with all of my journal pages, so that's something that I try to maintain. So usually I will be super in the mood and like decorate. And also I have a habit of decorating my spreads while watching a Netflix show. So sometimes it's kind of uncanny to like film it, or like it's really dark. So there are those moments, but I want to do a couple of switch ups, or like add more variety, and like maybe film a couple more of my processes and everything in between. So yeah, that's why you're probably like, why is Abby like just writing everything? Basically, I'm done with the deco part because that took me a really whole lot to do. And what I do with writing is I just do it in one go. Usually I have the context of whatever images are stuck in there, or like journal stuff, right? Or like, you know, like what happened on this day. I kind of know the context already. That's the reason why I do the deco way earlier. But I also don't try to do too much backlogs. I get so stressed with having backlogs. It just haunts me a lot. So apart from that, I've also been enjoying using my fountain pens in rotation. They're mostly inked with, well, earth colors because, you know, that's what I really like using. And I also have been using a lot of my Pelikan pen because before I didn't use it as much. Now I'm giving it more love, which is great because it was hella expensive. And I really like the writing feel of it though. It's one of my favorite pens as well. So going back, I have also been very observant, and like I like going to the grocery a lot and like buying stuff. Not like as a spending thing, but like, okay, I have to buy something, or like I discover a new app, or like I have this packaging that I wanted to keep. So I do make efforts to keep them. That's why I have a lot of tea bags, and it's free ephemera. I can't say no to free ephemera. I'm gonna throw them anyway. So sometimes I like to joke around and say that I'm a trash collector in that regard, because then I'm just keeping everything at this point, which is great because then they go on my journals and I have something to write about. I also feel like, do you feel like getting to document about these things is kind of like making your own report on certain things? I find that so interesting. Like down the line, you know, when you look at these things, maybe like 10, 15 years from now, you're gonna be like, wow, this was how life was before. Sometimes I wish that when I was a teenager, I had more. Well, I didn't journal as much. I also did write a lot, but like if I knew of ephemera back then, I could have kept all those packaging, like Lisa Frank, or like the candies I used to eat, or like cutouts from magazines. I feel like that would be such a time capsule and to live through, particularly because I grew up in a time where there was no internet yet, so I didn't really have any account of anything from my teenage years. I think in my college years I was able to document a bit more. So also wanted to share that I really love my new printer. The photos here are actually printed with that printer. It's called HP Envy. I also shared it with you in my autumn vlog where I unboxed it. It's probably one of my favorite purchases from the year. I always thought that I'd be fine without a printer, but honestly, let's be real. It's like, it's a very important thing to have, because now I'm like printing like clockwork. It's something that I really like doing. If I don't want to work, I'm like, I'm gonna print stuff. I think that's also work. Kind of. I guess in my context it is. So I also have been enjoying using these Sachihata number stamps, which I mentioned in the Taiwanese and Japanese stationery haul video, because I liked marking the passage of time with like dates and numbers and like having headings and stuff. You have to understand that I came from a background of books, so layouts are very important to me. That's why I do my layouts in a very finite way. Also wanted to share, in fashion news, I really enjoy dressing up during the fall. I think it's my peak. My friend Sarah was saying like, Abby, I feel like you really emerged in the fall. I'm like, how? And she's like, you dress so well, your makeup fits so well, your color scheme is literally fall season. I'm like, yeah, pretty much that's what I was going for from the beginning. So on this spread is a little recap of my day trip to Potsdam with my best friend Vanny. So I managed to keep although the map had a very wintry vibe, I would say. So this is a very outlier page. It's like blues and grays, but I really liked it also. So that was also in the vlog, in the autumn vlog, if you haven't checked it out. We had a really nice day, but it was so funny because that was the day where it started to go really dark. After 4 p.m. it was like peak spooky, and I was like, oh, this is like signaling towards the end of fall, right? Because, or no, not really, because fall's still extending until November, but in mid-November there was a day that it snowed. So I guess that's kind of pretty much like signaling sort of the end of it. This particular spread is my favorite. This was the day that the clock turned an hour back. So it was back to CET. This was the end of October because I took myself out on a date. I went to get bread. I also went to get carrot cake at my favorite bakery called 𝚑𝚗𝚘𝚘𝚑. And I wanted to document that. And I really like these stickers, like the one that says a snapshot of my day. That's from Everyday Explorers Co. I really like that. It's just so, it fits in Stack's prints really well. That's something I'll definitely say. And one thing I also wrote as like a way to end the fall journal is like the things that I really loved about fall, you know, little moments that really made me understand why this season means so much to me. So here is a peek at the last few pages, and I wanted to show you a final flip through of everything that I created for this particular insert. This was so fun to do. Honestly, if I had more time, I would do a seasonal one every year, but I'm still thinking about it because I do daily journaling as well, so I don't really want to overbook myself. So I think I also played around with a lot of different elements here. And by the way, if you want to check out the full setup of this, or like where I explain the layout in general, I did share it for Journal and VIP members on Patreon last November. It's a more technical side of looking at it because now I basically showed you the entire writing process, and like I talked to you about what happened. But like, if you're very curious about the whole processes and like the elements that come through in creating the journal pages, you can definitely check it out by joining my Patreon at patreon.com/abc, and I'm gonna link it down below as well if you want to check it out. So this one was really a good play in the mix of photos and images. I do want to make this a zine at some point, maybe something dedicated to autumn. But I will say that I'm a huge Traveler's Notebook fan for the fact that this slim size really works well with the style that I'm looking for with regards to documenting. So I do hope you enjoyed looking through this journal with me session and this video. I do have a lot of Traveler's Notebook videos that you can check out. It's in a playlist that I'm gonna link down below as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the fall season as much as I did, and I will see you guys on the next video. Always be creating and take care. Bye!